split you up into 2 teams, Team 1 and Team 2. Start counting off. 1, 2. 1,
2, 1, 2.
1, 2, 1, 2. 1.
1.
2. Okay. First, she was 1, so that makes you 2. So she's 1, 2. Learn to count.
2, 1.
Oh my god. I'm stuck alone, isolated within my little computer space, surrounded by suckers like myself who have been tricked into writing small monologues and blogs that no one will ever read or direct any attention towards.
I hate writing these stupid assignments. There's absolutely no point in writing these, but here are my thoughts for now.
I have so much homework tonight, it's crazy. I have a dentist appointment and that doesn't help. I wish we could have this time to do history or something. I hate doing things like this anyways. They're pointless.
It's not just a rip-off of the punch buggy game. It signifies the communal input of us founders, the kinky and cheesy decorative style, and the spirit of youth and lifestyle of all PC gaming nerds alike.
Okay, Leah, thanks very much. Laura, we'll hear from you next.
Ms. Kelly, please call the office.
I'm just gonna take that call, okay? So actually, you can go ahead and start, and I'll just get that.
I hate baseball. For someone who is as good at math as I am, I just can't seem to calculate the trajectory of the ball. This should be fun. Me swinging as hard as I can, Robbie snickering and making comments with all of his buddies. As I miss, like always, Mrs. D has us all organized as usual. Suddenly the fielders are on the field. And the horror. I am stuck on the same team as Robbie. Robbie watches for the moment. As soon as Mrs. D is handing out the bats, he is pointing to the ground. Oh man, here it comes. To Mrs. D's surprise, I push forward past the group and grab the bat. She doesn't say anything, but I knew she was wondering what I am doing because I always go last. In fact, Robbie always goes first. Next thing I know, Robbie is at my elbow and whispers in my ear, "See if you can knock yourself over. Knock yourself over this time with your swing. You sure can't knock the ball anyways." I've had it. It's just me and Robbie. I elbow him in the back. Taking him by surprise as he stumbles, I take a practice swing. Except I clock him square in the side of the head. There is a look of disbelief. And there's a look of disbelief in his eyes. He crumples to his knees, holding his head. Blood is already oozing through his fingers.
Laura, you need to stop reading right now. Let me see that. Is this what you're reading?
Yeah.
I need to see you in the hallway now. Robbie, you as well. The rest of you, I want you to get back to work. I will be right outside that door after you.
I'm the shortest. I always have been, I am now, and I always will be. So you can bet that I'm the target for teasing. It's always, "Hey loser," or sticking "kick me" notes on my back. So if Robbie has found a new target, Laura, to tease, fine by me.
I really can't believe that Laura said that in her short story. I knew she wasn't very social and didn't have many friends, but I didn't realize that she was so unhappy. It's unbelievable how no one knew that she would just pop the way she did. Who's next on the list?
Laura, your teachers brought you down here to talk to me about this story that you've been reading to the class. Do you understand what you've done?
Yeah, I've wrote a story.
Why am I so surprised at what's in here?
Because I'm expressing my feelings on how I feel about what should happen to Robbie.
But that's not very good, what you're putting in here, is it?
No.
Do you understand what's actually the content of this is?
A threat?
It's actually a death threat. Now, this is really serious, and I have to bring other people involved in this because it's so serious. And I have the option of suspending you because of the nature of this paper. Or I've come up with another idea, and that would be going through a MEND approach and attending a circle. Have you heard of this before?
I've heard of the MEND approach, but not the circle part.
Okay, the circle would be you and Robbie and your teacher and a couple of other people who are experienced sitting down with you and dealing with this problem. You have options. You can do this MEND approach and have a circle meeting, or I could have you suspended. What do you think would be better?
Taking the suspension.
Okay, Laura, I want you to really think about that for a second. Okay, look here. This gives everybody that's involved in this, including you and me and Robbie, a chance to sit down and solve this. It's been going on since you got here, right?
Yeah.
And it's time for it to stop, right?
Yeah.
Is that really what you want to have happen?
Yes.
Then this is the key to that.
If you come back from a suspension, the problem's still going to be there. And it's just going to keep going on. And it could even be worse. This gives you the ability to solve it. Isn't that what you want?
Yes.
So what do you think would be the best option for you to consider right now?
Join the men's circle.
I think that would be a really, really great idea.
Yeah, me too.
So shall we set that up then?
Sure.
Okay.
Hi guys, I want to thank you very much for allowing me into your home. I know we've talked on the phone a little bit about what this is all about, but I wanted to spend this time with you guys today to kind of really let you know what's going on here, Laura, and give you an opportunity to really make an informed decision as to if this is something that you want to do, okay? What's important to point out to you guys right off the bat is this circle that we want to do, it's completely voluntary. You don't have to do this if you don't want to. And at any time, you can kick me out of here, and we're done, okay? I do have to go back and talk to the principal, though, about how kind of, this meeting went. And it's my understanding, and I know this isn't really great, but it's either going through this process, going through the circle, or you may be looking at a suspension, okay? The other thing that's really important to point out to you as well is that everything that we talk about here, if there is something that you do not want shared, let me know. Otherwise, what we talk about does get shared, okay? You and I and your mom, we're going to have a conversation here today about all the things that have been going on, and ultimately which led to what? What did it lead to?
Me writing the threat note to Robbie.
That's right, okay. So we're going to talk about everything that led up to that. At the same time, my colleague, Judy, is going to be meeting with Robbie and talking to Robbie about, how he feels about stuff that happened, okay? And when we believe the time is right, because we're not going to just throw you guys together. When we believe the time is right, we're going to have you guys sit down and you're going to have an opportunity to talk to him about how this has impacted you and about why you did what you did, and if there's anything that you've learned, and maybe who you've impacted because of what you've done, and then you get a chance to talk to him, okay? Do you have any questions about that?
No.
You have any questions about that, Mom?
Probably I will as we start to talk, but
okay.
Right now I guess I don't know, it's just unbelievable.
Yeah. Well.
It's overwhelming to me.
Okay.
Really overwhelming.
Well, how it started was my first day of school. I was getting my stuff all organized and ready to go, and this guy, Robbie, came up and introduced himself as the Welcome Committee. And it just so happened that he decided that the Welcome Committee tries to push people down the stairs. So I just kind of shrugged it off because I was a new kid. Everyone always teases a new kid. I've learned that before. And then it just started to get worse. Like, he'd put kick me signs on my back. What the hell?
What?
What's this?
I don't know.
You just put this on my back.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
Hey!
It wasn't just single-sided, though. I would always end up fighting back because I've never just sat in the corner and let someone bully me. And I found out very quickly that he wasn't the sharpest tool in the shed. So I decided to tease him when I realized he wasn't paying attention in ways that could make me feel better about how he was being rude to me. So sometimes during gym class, if he wasn't paying attention, I would tell him he messed up and call him an idiot and stuff like that. And then he decides that if once I do something, he always retaliates and does something back to me. So he ends up throwing spitballs at me while I'm going down the stairs to my next class.
Hey, Laura.
I ended up getting mad at him, walking away, finding another way to get back at him. And that's how it's been going on until I wrote the letter.
Can you talk a little bit, Laura, about what kind of an impact this has had on you?
It hasn't made the school very welcoming. Like, it doesn't make me feel good about going to school every day, but just, I don't know, it's hard because I'm at a new school, new town, new everything, and then people are bullying me, and I'm not used to that because I was always popular at my old school.
Everything about her life has changed.
Tell me a bit about
Everything about our life has changed.
Okay.
Everything that she knew, everything she counted on has been turned upside down in the last 2 years. Everything.
What's been the hardest thing for you? Well, actually, let me put that to both of you guys. Laura, what's been the hardest thing for you first?
Losing my dad. Like, I haven't talked to him in 2 years.
Okay. Were you close with your dad?
Yeah, I guess.
Well, you thought you were.
Yeah, I thought I was, but... And also having to move everywhere. But, I don't know. I've always tried to hide it because I don't really talk to my mom anymore, so there's no one to talk to. I end up venting it out on the kids at school. So,
how's that worked for you?
not very well.
Yeah. Who do you think has been impacted by writing that letter?
My whole computer science class. Robbie.
How do you think Robbie's been affected?
Well, he just had a death note written and told to him in one of his classes. And yeah, he's probably scared because he didn't realize that that's how far our bullying to each other has gotten.
Okay. It's really good that you have that insight. I think that'll be very helpful for Robbie to hear. Who else do you think has been impacted?
My whole class.
Yeah.
Most of my classes, because just so happens Robbie and I have the same classes. So every class that we have. But most of my computer science class, because that's the only one I've rashed out and told people how I've thought of what I wanted to do. Everyone else just thought I was a class clown.
Okay. Who else has been impacted?
My mom, my teachers.
Let's talk about Mom for a second. How do you think Mom's been impacted?
She's probably shocked. She's probably hurt because she's never realized that I've been like this.
Mm. Have you ever asked her how she's been impacted?
No.
Just go ahead and ask her.
How have you been impacted?
I'm really disappointed in myself because I think at the same time that I've been so angry with you these last few weeks for what you did, because it's not you, it's not the way you are. I know who you are, and that's not who you are. I know I've let you down. I haven't been there for her. I haven't been there for her. I haven't been there for anybody, and I just feel useless to you.
What does that feel like to hear that?
It hurts. Like, I don't know. It's kind of hard to realize that your family's falling apart right in front of your eyes.
Yeah, it is.
Do you think you'd be able to explain that to Robbie in the circle? I think that's really valuable and very important for him to understand, you know, what's the things that have impacted your life outside of school. I don't know how comfortable you are in sharing that.
It probably depends on the day, on how good of a day I'm having, if I'll share it or not.
Okay. That'll be up to you.
It's just been so painful for her and for I. Do you think you can share that?
Maybe.
I mean, losing Dad, having to let go of the dog.
I didn't like the dog. That doesn't bother me.
Do you think anything good would come about sitting down and having a circle with Robbie?
Yeah, we would stop bullying each other, and maybe our classes would be more fun.
And what kind of a role do you think you have in repairing the harm?
I'd be one of the main roles. Like, I'd have to be the one who I'd be one of the people who decides if we want to repair and want to start from scratch and learn how to trust each other. Maybe not so far as trusting, but learn how to respect each other.
Okay. Where we'll go from here is I'll go back and I'll talk to Judy. And are you okay with Judy? I'd like to be able to share everything with Judy because it's important for us to be able to communicate with each other. Yeah. But if there's stuff that, thank you. If there's stuff that you don't want Judy to share to Robbie, let me know right now, okay?
No, it's up to my mom.
I don't think that, I'm not saying that our personal family situation is an excuse for what she did. But I think it helps people understand how she got to the point where she lost control.
No, I agree with you.
Because
absolutely.
that's not who Laura is.
Okay. What I'd like to do is go back and talk to Judy and give Judy a chance to talk to Robbie to see where he's at and if he wants to participate. And then I'll get back to you guys and let you know. If there's anything you need in the meantime, you know how to get a hold of me, give me a call. Thanks, I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
So, Robbie and Greg, I really appreciate you meeting with me to talk about potentially having a circle about this issue. I know this whole thing's been really scary. You've had a really difficult situation at school to deal with, and that's had a big impact on both of you. So my role is to see how I can help to resolve that, because Robbie, you're going back to school, and Dad, you're going to be worried about Robbie going back to school after this. You look pretty concerned.
Yeah, you might say that. I'm kind of wondering, I mean, I understand this process and I appreciate you coming, but I do sort of wonder why my son seems to be being the one put on trial here.
Okay, that's how it's feeling to you?
A bit.
Because?
He's never been in any trouble. Okay. He's the one who's had the threats laid against him.
He has, and those are going to
And what's happened to her so far?
Okay, yeah. So what's happened to her so far is she's been given an opportunity to have the circle, if you're comfortable with it. And if she doesn't follow through with that circle, it's absolutely a suspension. I believe the principal's thinking that if we can put you together to talk about it, we can move beyond it. It's not about somebody not being accountable for what they've done. She totally has to be accountable for what she's done. And my understanding from talking to Shawn, who's met with them, her and her mom, is she is taking responsibility for what she's done. She is talking about, you know, some other stuff that led up to it that, you know, would be helpful to talk about. And I think that's perhaps, you know, the point of discomfort for you, that there's other stuff that's kind of connected with this. But this is a big issue. Make no mistake about it, that this is being taken very seriously. And the most important thing is to make sure you can go back to school safely. How safe do you feel there right now?
Don't really want to go back to school.
Yeah. And what would you like to see happen in terms of school, Dan?
I'd obviously like him to be able to go back and feel safe.
Right.
It's a place that he should be made to feel safe.
Exactly.
And he should, no child should be made to go through what he's gone through.
No, absolutely not. What would you be comfortable with, and how do we get there?
Well, I mean, what happens? We just sit in a circle. Like, how's that going to help?
What's really important about this circle is that everybody's ready to be there. So we're not going to put anybody there until we're sure that they're comfortable and feeling safe to be there. Okay? What we'd like to do ideally is have you and Laura's mom, and you, Dad, there together with Shawn and I to facilitate.